Well, a little bit excited because we are joined by movie royalty right now. Alex Kendrick is joining us. Very, very excited and very humble. Like, I know we can build you up, but you are one of the humblest people that I've ever spoken to when it comes to movies. So that's a great quality, but it is very exciting to chat to you.
Well, thanks. It's good to be with you guys too.
Yeah, it's great to have you with us. Of course, on the day that LIFEMARK hits cinemas in Australia, it's been out in the US for a little while already, but it's in Aussie cinemas from today. So we're very excited. It's the latest Kendrick Brothers movie to hit the screens. So, congratulations, first of all, on a brand new film, which has just got a fantastic story.
Oh, yeah, and we're excited about it. It's our first true story. So everything in the movie happened, and, man, it was fun to put that together with the real people on set with us, so I can't wait for you to see it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
How did that sort of work out? Because, when you hear true stories and, Hollywood will take it's a true story by this, by a minute bit, but then it's a whole lot. How was it sort of working through and sticking it true to the story when you got to make it a little bit, suspenseful and things like that for people who are watching it?
That's true. When we watched the documentary that was first made about this story, the documentary is called I Lived on Parker Avenue. We watched that first and wow, did it melt our hearts. We cried and cheered and said, we've got to make this to a feature film. Kirk Cameron called us and said, guys, let's do this. This is a beautiful story. Kirk has 4 adopted kids.
Wow.
The leading woman in the movie has 4 adopted kids. And so we said, let's do it. And so when we made it, we invited the real people on set with us. And so they were there with us and doing this movie. The pieces of the film really happened. This 18-year-old girl that rolls off the abortion table at the last second and walks out of the clinic, decides to give her baby for adoption. All of that really happened. The couple that adopted the baby named him David and allow him to meet her, the biological mother, when he turned 18 years old. All of that really happened. And the fact that they went skydiving, cliff jumping, raced ATVs, all of that really happened. So we said, it's all going in the movie.
Wow,
that's
awesome.
Yeah, it was so fun to put that together and to have the real people with us. So when you watch it, just know that's what happened. So that's the way the movie happened.
And you're right, because I've seen the documentary you're talking about, and there are scenes that are virtually verbatim. Like it's just, you've literally just picked it up and dropped it in the movie. It's amazing the way that you've done it. So it's a great job, and you certainly haven't put any Hollywood in it in that respect. Like it's been very much based on actual characters. So that's quite an amazing effort just in itself.
Well, and it's easier to write a script when you've got the real footage there to say, well, this is what they said. That's what's going in the movie.
That's so true. That's brilliant.
So how did you come across it? You said you watched the documentary. Did someone send you an idea, or you just were surfing one day, or you'd heard about it and hunted it down? How did it come about that you saw the documentary and thought, right, here we go?
Yes. Yep. So we were finishing our movie Overcomer a few years ago, and Kirk Cameron called us and he said, guys, I'm in a puddle. I'm sitting on my couch at my house crying my eyes out from watching this short documentary. You've got to watch it. So when we did, he said, can we make this a real movie? We prayed about it, had a total peace. And it was interesting. We had no idea that Roe versus Wade was about to be overturned in the United States. And so we said, okay, God, if you want us to make this movie, we will. And we got rights from all the real people and then invited them to set with us. And so became quick friends with them and shot the movie. And then, yes, we went through COVID like the world went through COVID. So it delayed us a year. But when we finished the movie and released it, the Roe versus Wade's being overturned. And I said, I could not have imagined this happening and within a few months of each other. So the fact that this was a God-honoring story based on truth with so much excitement and drama was just extraordinary to us. And again, we were so moved by it and can't wait for Australia, New Zealand to see it as well.
Yeah,
so good. And that's the thing. I mean, God's timing, you would feel frustrated thinking, we've got to wait, that extra time. We can't get it out yet. But in hindsight, obviously, you can see the way that God's just orchestrated all the events to come together, which is just spectacular. So, it's a great story. And, I was at a pre-screening a week or so back with a whole bunch of pastors and leaders and chatting with them afterwards. The character that was most loved by the majority of people was Nate. He's like the comic relief really in the film. How was he brought in? Was he actually, because I noticed it said based on several friends, so was he one that was maybe a little bit more creative in the script?
So regarding Nate, so the real David was on set with us, and we said, David, so you had a number of friends, about 6 friends that helped him throughout middle school, high school, and college. One of them was this fiery redheaded guy. And he said, yeah, I did have these different friends. And I said, well, I don't, it's going to be hard to portray that on screen to get to know that many characters. He said, well, just make them one character and they can represent the friends that I had. Go with the redheaded guy. He was the funniest. And we said, okay. So we wrote the script for Nate that truly represented the guys that he went through this process with. Yeah. So it was easier to follow one character in that regard, but he still represented real things that happened between him and David. And so it was a lot of fun to do. The man that played him is named Justin Sterner, and he really is that funny in real life.
Wow, I love that. That's so cool.
And being a mum of redheads, it's really nice to see redheads portrayed really well, and not everyone teasing them. I love that. So that's great too.
No, he certainly was a great, and I guess because there's some fairly heavy themes in the movie, so having that kind of humorous interjections throughout actually lifted it a little bit too, which I think was a really nice way that you've sort of written that into the script.
It is. We love when we see movies, even if it's a important subject or a dramatic aspect to the movie, we love humor coming in and out. And so it's a great breathing pattern, a good experience for the audience. So when audiences go see this movie, so far, we've heard responses like, man, I cried and then I'm laughing my head off and then I'm inspired. I loved watching this film, and to know that it's true, that it's based on actual events is even more inspiring. So we love that, and we love the message it puts in people's hearts. Life is so valuable. God creates life. Let's preserve it. Let's protect it. And adoption truly is a beautiful ministry, and we've seen that in our own Kendrick family, as well as others, Kirk Cameron's as well. And so it was a fun film to make.
Oh, that's amazing. Now, I do love it how you talk about the message, and we've had a chance to give away tickets to several of the movies, and listeners ring us back and they said, oh, God spoke to me through the war room. I've gone home and I've found a place to pray. And, you get these great messages out there. But I've always wondered, when I get to talk to one of the Kendrick brothers, I'm going to ask, what was God saying to you yourself during the filming of this? Because, we come away with so many, great words from God that he's spoken through the movie to us. I just wondered, what was one thing that maybe you were like, hey, that's a God moment for me in my life?
That's a great question, because when we were making the movie, my brothers and I are not excited about jumping in the middle of political issues where there's lots of friction and things like that. But we felt like the Lord said, stand for life, stand for life. Wow. And so we said, okay, so making this movie is one way we can say, and not be ashamed of it, is to say, you know what? God created life, and it is worth preserving, it is worth supporting, it is worth fighting for. And though we never want to make political movies, we do want to present truth. We do want to present hope, redemption, the gospel and salvation. So we do want to present those things, and our culture needs to see it honestly. And because there is hope in the message of Jesus Christ and in following his route. So when we find these true stories that we don't have to mess with very much, we just find the true stories and we can share that, it inspires so many people. And so we wanted to boldly but lovingly present this story of hope and redemption and forgiveness to the world, and then let the Lord do what only the Lord can do.
That's amazing. Excellent. I love it.
You've done a great job of it. So certainly we're encouraging people to get out to cinemas and support this, because I guess, when we see the success in cinemas, that, makes it possible for you to do more of this sort of thing into the future as well. So get out and see LifeMark while you can in cinemas around the country. You'll find the details at lifemarkmovie.com.au to find the cinema near you that you can get out to see it. Just one last question quickly, Alex, before we need to let you go. Obviously, you've got seasoned actors like Kirk Cameron in this movie, and I mean, you've been in quite a few yourself now as well. But there were some brand new actors in this as well. And so I guess it's wonderful to see the way that you are developing. And I mean, obviously, I'm sure this isn't going to be your last movie. So there's lots of growth into the future. What's been your sort of thought around that? Is it sort of strategic to try to develop I guess new talent and see people become proficient in this genre?
It is, and we pray about that. We want to launch these young people that love the Lord and are talented and are working on their craft. We want to launch them out there. You know, there is so much entertainment that does not help our character, that does not help morality. And so we want to launch wholesome but powerful entertainment out there. And so there are so many people that love the Lord that are gifted in that regard. So we love and Courageous. If you remember Robert Amaya, the Snake King in Courageous, that he started in Courageous. He's done a dozen movies since then. T.C. Stallings started in Courageous. He's in a dozen movies. Priscilla Shire in War Room, and then Overcomer. She's starting to do more movies. And when we love launching people in that regard. So we look for people talented, but also that are honoring the Lord with their craft, and we're trying to launch as many as we possibly can. So what we need is a few more Australians in our movie.
A few more g'day mates.
That's it.
And you'll be right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's right.
I mean, would there ever be a thought that you would film a movie in Australia? I mean, we've got lots of different well-made Aussie movies that have obviously been based here. Would there ever be a thought to really step out of the boat and do something internationally?
Yes, there's a thought. I need to come visit Australia. I've heard about it so much. I need to get down there and visit, and we need to scout some.
Yeah,
okay. Oh, well, you're more than welcome. We'd certainly have you here in a heartbeat.
You come and we'll supply the Tim Tams and all the good things that you never see on the telly about Australia. We don't just have Vegemite, okay? We have yummy things too.
That sounds wonderful.
Brilliant. So good. Well, look, once again, congratulations on this new movie. I'm sure it is going to make a huge impact as far as changing people's hearts and perceptions. So thanks for your time sharing a bit about it today. And we do wish you all the very best and pray that God would direct you into the next project, because I know you are very prayerful in terms of what you'll do next. So we pray that the next project will be a huge success as well.
Thank you so much. Great to talk with you.